Hey everybody, hi, my name is Tim Heidecker. You're listening to On Cinema, the podcast where we talk about movies, and we're in San Francisco on vacation. Well, we're on vacation in San Francisco, and I thought it'd be cool to do a special episode where we talk about the movies in San Francisco, set in San Francisco. And the movie my guest is Greg Turkington, who I'm up here in San Francisco with. Greg?
Hi guys.
Well, the movie we wanted to talk about today was actually shot in San Francisco, called Escape from Alcatraz, about Birdman of Alcatraz.
And it stars Clint Eastwood. And it's not about the bird, it's actually about a prison break. It's a very exciting and real thrill, real fun.
Now, Alcatraz is an island off the coast of San Francisco. It's one of the most famous prisons in America, and it was one of the great movies about that prison, correct?
Yeah, it was definitely one of the great movies, and when it came out, critics loved it, the audiences flocked to it, and then it was very popular for years on television and on video.
All right, well, thanks for listening, everybody. This has been On Cinema on location here in...
And it starred Clint Eastwood and came out in 1981.
So that is the truth, the real story behind the Escape from Alcatraz, shot in San Francisco. We are also in San Francisco, enjoying the wonderful... Hold on a sec.
Corner of 5th and Mission right now.
We are actually walking down the corner of 5th and Mission, but I also wanted to add that this is a special episode where we visited San Francisco. Thanks. See you next week.
Thank you.
Hi everybody, this is Tim Heidecker. I just wanted to let you know that next week we'll be premiering our very first annual holiday movie episode where me and a special guest will be discussing our favorite holiday movies. I hope you check it out. It's going to be coming up next Tuesday. And I also just want to thank you guys for listening over these past few weeks. We both I've enjoyed doing the show, and I know my guests have as well. So we appreciate all the work that goes into making this podcast and all the support that we get from you. Thanks very much. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is Tim Heidecker. You're listening to another edition of On Cinema, the show that discusses cinema, films, our favorite movies. My guest today is, as usual, Mr. Greg Turkington, an expert when it comes to film, a film buff.
Good to see you again, Tim.
Let me take it again. Hi. Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is Tim Heidecker. You're listening to another episode of my podcast, On Cinema. And this is the podcast where we talk about our favorite movies. And I'm joined with my guest today is Mr. Greg Turkington, who is a film buff and an expert on film. Thanks for being here, Greg.
It's always great to come and be on the show.
Thanks. Well, listen, today we're going to do something a little different. Normally we talk about one film or a couple of films. Today we're going to talk about, since it is the holiday season, Christmas is coming, and I thought we could talk about Christmas movies. Holiday movies.
I like that.
Tell me about your favorite Christmas movie or holiday movie, and I'll tell you mine, and we can go from there.
I'd have to say Miracle on 34th Street, which I don't know if you've seen that one. A lot of people that aren't film buffs haven't seen it. It's a good film.
My question is, the new one or the remake or the original? Because I would say...
the one I saw is in color. It stars the little girl... from, oh boy, cute little girl that was on very popular TV.
Curly
actress.
Sue?
No, she was...
well, there was the old one that was, I believe, Shirley Temple was in, but then that was in the 30s. But But they colorized that, so you might have seen the colorized version.
No, because the cars, one thing, if you're a film buff, you can date a movie by the cars that you see in the action.
I like Miracle on 34th Street, but I like the one from the 20s or the 30s, the old one.
I'm sure that's a good one, too.
Yeah. Let me stay on point here, and also, my favorite is not Miracle on 34th Street, Jimmy Stewart.
Christmas Carol.
No.
Christmas Carol.
No, this is the one. Miracle could have.
It happened one night.
No, it's.
Could happen to you.
No, or he dies.
From Here to Eternity.
No, or he dies, and then he sees what's
Mr.
like.
Smith Goes to Washington.
No, don't say it. Don't say
Casablanca.
it. No, don't. Now you're just.
It's an old one. It's an old movie.
It's Clarence. So every time Mr. Potter.
Mr. Belvedere.
No. Miracle on Jimmy.
That's not it.
Jimmy Stewart, Grace Kelly, Donna. No, not.
Donna Fargo.
He dies and meets an angel and goes to
Heaven Can Wait.
No. I can look at. Let me look it up. It's you know this movie. It's one of the most famous Miracle. I keep thinking.
I haven't seen it.
The thing is, I keep thinking Miracle on 34th Street.
Yeah, or Christmas Carol, or Chevy Chase's Christmas Vacation.
No. Oh boy, Jimmy Stewart's made a lot of movies. It's going to be hard to find it. I'll see. It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's my favorite
a classic.
Christmas
Yeah,
story.
you should have just said that. That's a classic.
I know. Why didn't you help me out? You knew all the details. Anyways, I think you're just messing with me. Anyways, that's my favorite Christmas movie. Want to know what yours is? So feel free to write us or call. Get us online. The web address. So thank you very much, and we'll have a Merry Christmas or a Happy Holiday.
And
I'll sign off.
wait, what's their favorite New Year's movie?
Okay. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week. Hey everybody, welcome to On Cinema. My name is Tim Heidecker. I'm going to be discussing today a film I saw over the weekend called Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. And it is a movie about spies during the Cold War in England. And it was good. It was very it was a serious movie about spies against Russia, or there was somebody was spying from the government from the English government or from the Russian government was actually a double agent, or in the movie it was called a mole, who was in the British government, and it was the job of Gary Oldman's character to figure out who is the spy or who is the mole. They're all spies. Anyways, it was a very good movie, and it had actually it was a part of from a book. It was actually based on a book, and that is Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, and it should be nominated for an award, Academy Awards this year, because it was a good movie. All right, so check it out if it's playing in your city. And we'll see you next time. Hi, everybody. Thanks for listening. This is Tim Heidecker, the host of On Cinema Podcast. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season, and I want you to sit back and enjoy this encore presentation of On Cinema. Hey everybody, this is Tim Heidecker, and we are once again here for the On Cinema Podcast. It's a podcast where we talk about movies and our favorite movies, and I'm joined by my special guest. Greg Turkington is a film buff.
Yeah,
So,
that's funny.
Welcome, Greg.
Thanks. Well, as always, it's great to be here. I always look forward to this all week long, and really proud of the work you've done with this podcast in getting it around and in keeping it commercial free.
Yes, well, that's important. Although we'd all like to be making a ton of money, I think this is just a passion project for us.
It's a labor of love.
Anyways, our movie today is Carlito's Way, starring Al Pacino and directed by Brian De Palma. Greg, have you had a chance to see this movie?
I've seen most films. I consider myself kind of a minor league expert in cinema. That's one that somehow slipped through the cracks.
Oh.
It was not a big picture.
I'm
it
sorry.
was one that didn't play in the theaters very long, not readily available.
Okay, well, I thought I'd let you know we were talking about Carlito's Way, but let me tell you a little
Not
bit.
on DVD.
Okay, I think it
So
is.
I have a VHS player too, not available. I've looked for it. I mean, it's a great film. People love it, but sometimes the
Well, let me
studios.
tell you about that.
You should get people to send petitions
Right.
to Paramount Pictures to get these things released.
Listen, a
'cause
lot
it's
of
about
people
preserving film.
Well, yes, I'm pretty sure we can get a hold of it if you look hard enough. But a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that Carlito's Way is a sequel to what the hell?
Cutter's Way.
No, the Pacino movie from the '80s with De Palma.
The women, the Scent of a Woman.
No, Scarface.
Scarface. Okay.
But it's not. It's actually just a similar story, almost as if that character was older. But I liked it. It's very violent. It has a lot of racy scenes in it. Sean Penn is actually very good in it, playing a very devious character.
And
So,
good luck finding it, though. I mean, that's one that you just don't see. It's
Okay.
just not around.
if you're looking for a movie to watch this week, go try to get a copy of Carlito's
Try.
Way. Yes, try to get a copy of Carlito's Way and watch it with your. Definitely don't watch it with kids.
I've been looking for that movie for years.
Definitely can get hold of Carlito's Way. So thank you very much, and we will see you next week on In Cinema.
Thanks for listening. Visit
Okay, you don't need to say that. Thank you. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Welcome to On Cinema with your host Tim Heidecker. That's right, folks. You're listening to our latest episode with my guest Greg Turkington. And if you notice something a little different, I have invested in a couple of microphones. Oh, sorry, Greg. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? I got some new microphones, and
These
it's
are
got
nice.
this. Yes,
They smell new.
that's right. Well, I just got them. I put the first couple episodes. I have to apologize now. Didn't sound so great. I recorded them.
I liked them.
Well, the sound, the fidelity of the sound wasn't as good as it could have been, and I apologize for that.
No need to apologize. I think.
I'm talking to the audience. I'm not talking to you. I thank you guys for putting up with it. But we're taking it seriously now. So.
I was always taking it seriously.
Well, I was too. Anyways, our movie today is Gone with the Wind.
The big one.
60th anniversary of the release of Gone with the Wind. And wow, what can you say? I mean, it's cool that we picked a great episode to start with, start our new sound, the new sound of the podcast with a movie that really is one of the first color movies. It's one of the first movies that is a spectacular blockbuster,
And
exciting.
innovative sound, which is interesting because now it's innovative sound on this podcast. Because they were using state-of-the-art equipment, and now we are.
Yeah. So thanks for bearing with us. And I've been playing.
Clark Gable.
I'm sorry. Yeah, back to Gone with the Wind. Clark Gable.
Clark Gable.
Vivian Lee.
I pronounce it Lay.
Directed by
Vivian Lay. Directed by
David O. Selznick.
Yeah.
No, Victor Fleming directed it, and then David O. Selznick wrote it and produced it for
MGM.
Anyhow, great movie about Civil War, about this slavery issue, and also about the South. If you haven't seen it, it's an all-time classic.
It's great.
It's surprisingly good, and or I should say, it holds up really nicely.
It's. I mean, they could. It's a rough around the edges because it's old, but it's. It's
You know what?
good. It's
I
good.
wanted to make-
It's real good.
Definitely. I wanted to add one thing though is two things. Make sure you've got the remastered, re-released edition where they've got the new off of the new print.
Yeah.
I got a library copy years ago and it was crap. It was a bad copy and it looked bad.
Well,
if you get the
I
new
bought it.
if you get the new remastered version, it looks fantastic. It almost looks like a new movie.
Well, I had a copy that my brother had taped off television years ago with still the commercials on it, and we watched that, and you're fast forwarding through the commercials.
Yeah.
It's not the way that the filmmaker intended.
No, not at all. But the other thing I wanted to mention was make sure you give yourself enough time to watch it because
Yeah.
it is a long movie.
Even with the commercials, it's 5 hours.
Yeah, well, no one's going to watch it with the commercials, I don't think. So, all right, thank you very much, everybody, and
Gone with the Wind,
Gone with the Wind, as we are
all-time greatest movie.
definitely on the top 5. All right, thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll be back next week. Hey, everybody, this is Tim Heidecker. You're listening to On Cinema, the weekly podcast where we discuss films. And our film today that we're discussing is Stephen King's, the book written by I'm sorry, I should introduce my guest. And my guest is Greg Turkington.
Hey, yeah, I'm just kind of waiting here, wondering when to
Sorry
get
about that,
introduced.
buddy.
But hey, yeah, no, it's good to be here, especially talking about a film that is a personal favorite of mine.
Yes, we are celebrating the 20th anniversary release of Misery, directed by Rob Reiner, and starring Kathy Bates and, blanking on the name,
James Caan.
James Caan. And what did you think of this movie, Greg?
Well, when I first saw it, it was shocking for its time. I didn't see it until about 5 years ago, but it's a real eye opener. It's a real. I mean, you love Stephen King, and you love Kathy Bates, and
Right.
Rob Reiner is always good, and it all comes together for them in this film.
Yeah, it is sort of that mix of comedy and horror. There's a lot of very kind of scenes where you don't even want to look at the screen, but then also funny. So, good movie. Check it out.
I've seen it twice.
All right. Well,
And I've seen it once. I saw it on video and once on DVD. So it's a film that just keeps on going. It's got a real shelf life.
all right. Well, you can probably check that out on Netflix or.
Don't give away the ending, though.
I'm not going
'cause
to
it's
give away the ending. No,
That's one of the things about the movie is
it's got a great ending.
Great
Anyways,
ending.
okay. Thanks. And Misery. That was Misery. So check it out. It's on. You can rent it, or you can even buy it probably
or
on
at
Amazon.
Tower Records or Virgin Superstore. Or,
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Greg, and talk to you next.
Always a pleasure to be here.
All right. Thanks a lot, and talk to you soon. Hey, everybody. Welcome to On Cinema. I'm your host, Tim Heidecker, and with me, as always, is my, not always necessarily, but with my, he's a film buff and a friend of mine, Greg Turkington.
Thank you. I mean, I would like to be on the show more often, but,
Well, yeah, I love your opinions on film, and I love having you here talking about it, so no reason to change it. If the wheel ain't, if the wheel, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
And if you're getting emails that like what I'm doing and stuff, then, keep having me on.
All right. Well, today our film is the 20th anniversary release of Oscar winner Driving Miss Daisy.
Oh, yeah. with Morgan Freeman, Jessica Tandy,
Jessica Lange.
Jessica Lange, and Dan.
No, I'm
Aykroyd.
sorry. You're right. It is Jessica Tandy.
Jessica Tandy.
IMDb
Look,
here.
look it up. And
Hold on a sec.
no, it wouldn't be Jessica Lange because she's not old. Jessica Lange, although
I get it.
gotta
I
be
was
Jessica
wrong.
Tandy.
I had in my head I'm thinking Lang, Jessica Lange, but it's Jessica. It is definitely Jessica Tandy.
and Dan
You are
Aykroyd
correct, sir.
in a rare, serious role.
Yeah, this was surprise. That's interesting you bring that up. This is surprising because Dan Aykroyd, who, as you know, from Saturday Night Live and Blues Brothers and all kinds of other comedies,
Coneheads.
appears in this movie and it plays it pretty straight.
Yeah, to his credit. And I don't know, I think he was nominated for a Golden Globe. Look that up, but
I'm not going to.
well deserved.
We're mostly focusing on Oscars here, and it did win Best Oscar.
Well deserved nomination.
And
for
it was
Dan
a winner, according to the poster here. It was winner of 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, which is the best picture, the highest honor.
I don't think that's correct, but it was very, very good film.
Now, this is an interesting question. Did you we might get some hate mail on this? Do you think the movie was racist? Because of the
I don't think it was racist because you got to look at who's in it and if they're racists. I don't think that Morgan Freeman,
No, obviously not.
Dan Aykroyd worked with Garrett Morris for years, and if you saw the Blues Brothers, they've got all the old time blues singers in that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't think he'd involve himself in something like that.
All right. Well, good enough for me. That is coming in. Best Picture, Driving Miss Daisy. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's a
And
great
they're
movie.
remaking it.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
All right.
they're remaking it.
All right.
Yeah, it's not going to be as good, but it's definitely in the process right now of being remade.
Okay. I cannot confirm or deny that, but thanks for that info, Greg. You guys can check that out on your own.
Check out the original, though, not the remake.
No, definitely. All right. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you next time on Cinema. Hi, everybody. My name is Tim Heidecker. You're listening to the On Cinema podcast. It's a podcast where we talk about pretty much different kinds of movies that I've seen, some that I haven't seen. It's basically just a podcast where we, me and a guest, talk about different kinds of movies. So if anyone follows us on the Facebook page that we set up, which is facebook.com/oncinemapodcast, that I recently announced that we were having a contest to find a guest film buff to appear on the podcast. And a lot of great entries came in. I basically assigned people to write a short essay about their favorite film. And I was really excited to see a lot of people wrote some great essays. One of the best essays that I saw, and actually one of the first people to submit, was a man named Greg Smith. So Greg is on the phone right now. Greg, thanks for coming on the show.
Hi, thanks so much, Tim. Thanks for having me.
Where are you from, Greg?
I'm around Detroit, Michigan, and I go to school in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Okay, cool. Well, your essay was about a movie called 12 Angry Men.
Yes.
And could you tell me a little bit about that movie?
Sure. 12 Angry Men is one of my favorite movies. It's directed by Sidney Lumet, who made other movies like Dog's Day Afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about 12 angry men who are on a jury, and they have to vote whether a guy's guilty or not.
Okay, so it's like a courtroom drama kind of thing?
Yeah, it's like a courtroom drama, and but it all takes place in a jury room, and it's all through dialogue. There's nothing else besides dialogue. In the movie.
So you don't see what happened in the case. You don't see like recreations of the what is it, a murder, or is it?
No, it's a murder case. There aren't any like reenactments. or they don't show the crime. You just hear them talk about it.
Huh. And it seems like that would get boring after a while without seeing it. Like, there's not a lot of action or anything, or is it? How does it? Is it a short film, or is it how long? How do they keep the energy going if it's just a bunch of talking?
Well, it's based on a play, so I think that
Okay.
there isn't a lot of action in plays either. It's just mostly talking in plays. So
Okay,
I think
well,
the
I mean, there are certainly a lot of plays that have action in it, like Phantom of the Opera and different plays, musicals definitely have action. So I don't think, anyways, we're not talking about musicals, but
right.
who starred in that movie?
The main star is Henry Fonda, who is a classic actor. He was in Grapes of Wrath and other movies.
All right. Well, so if you haven't seen 12 Angry Men, you should be able to check it out. It's probably on. You think it'd be on DVD, or can you get it on?
Yeah, I just bought it on DVD.
Oh, cool.
Like a week ago. So yeah.
And I didn't. This is sometimes if I love a movie and I'm going to watch it again and again, if I know I'm going to watch it again and again, I pick it up on Amazon. You can go on Amazon.com, and they have tons of DVDs, more than even Blockbuster would have. If you went down to Blockbuster, you would find probably a tenth of what they have at Amazon. And it's cool. You sign up. You can sign up and give all your information once, and it saves that information, so you don't have to keep inputting your credit card information and all that kind of stuff.
You don't have to log in every time. It remembers for you.
Exactly. So that's my recommendation. If you love 12 Angry Men, jump on Amazon, pick it up. If you haven't seen it before, don't jump in the deep end and buy it, because it might not be the movie for you. So rent it first, or if a local, I don't know, sometimes smaller theaters show old movies, so maybe they'll be showing that. I don't know. You'd have to check your listings. All right, Greg. Well, thanks very much. Congratulations on winning the contest. It sounds like a neat movie.
Thank you.
All the best, and keep listening, and I'll talk to you soon. I guess. Oh, maybe I won't. We'll see.
I hope so.
Well, maybe you could become a regular because you seem to know a lot about movies. Any other movies that you've seen recently?
Let's see. I was just watching. What was it? It was Species was on TV. It was a movie called Species.
Species, is that
which I guess is about species. I don't really know.
A horror movie? Was it a horror movie?
Yeah, I think it was it's like a sci-fi. I caught it during the middle. It was on TV. I couldn't quite tell. I think it's like a sci-fi horror movie.
Do you recommend it?
Like I said, it was on. I was just watching TV and I caught the middle of it. So I can't say for sure.
Oh, sounds good. I'll definitely check it out, and maybe we'll talk about it in another episode with you. That'd be great. Thanks again, Greg. It was really neat nice meeting you, and I'm sure we'll stay in touch now that I have your email, and we can I don't know, talk about other things. Doesn't have to be about movies, and that could be off the air. All right. Thanks everybody for listening. Take care, and have a great week. Hey everybody, welcome to my podcast on cinema. My name is Tim Heidecker, and it's the show where we talk about film, some of our favorite movies, and my guest is Greg Turkington.
Hey, it's great to be part of the show again.
Thanks for helping out. Our film today is Easy Rider.
Jack Nicholson's breakthrough. And then he went on to The Shining and other. I mean, there was a
ton of movies he did.
Ton of movies
between those.
But
that's not really the focus.
Shining
of
is the one that I like.
This isn't the
personally.
focus. The focus I want to focus on is the Dennis Hopper and Peter Fonda and the motorcycles, and then the fact that it was a different kind of movie than your typical studio picture.
It wasn't, because you had a lot of biker movies at the time. I've seen them, but they didn't have star power. They didn't have Jack Nicholson. They were
Well,
just,
he wasn't a star at that point.
well, he'd done some things. A lot of these biker movies, you have just, basically glorified extras.
All right. Well, that's Easy Rider.
I haven't seen it in a long time. I don't remember if I like it or don't like it, but it's Peter Fonda, of course. His father is Henry Fonda, Katharine Hepburn, and Dennis Hopper.
So if you haven't seen Easy Rider, go check that out. Great music too. Don't forget about that.
Born to be Wild. Can you put? You can have that sort of underneath. Sorry, I don't want to talk about this on tape. But
Yeah.
Easy Rider is. Gosh, that's sort of ushered in the Woodstock era.
All right. Yeah. I'm looking that up. I don't think that's true
Yeah,
because it was all about the same time.
well, before Easy Rider, you didn't have a lot of movies with long hair,
Right,
and,
definitely.
and sex and rock and roll and drugs and
We're
all that good stuff.
introducing a new feature of the show. Is we're going to be playing clips from the show, from the movie.
Really.
Okay, that's a ad that starts. I'm sorry about that. Hold on. A
Yeah,
sec.
I don't remember this scene.
Okay.
This year, the judges of the Cannes Film Festival presented the award Best Film by a New Director to Easy Rider. It's the story of a man who went looking for America and couldn't find it anywhere. Easy Rider stars Peter Fonda.
It's not every man that can live off the land, you know. You do your own thing in your own time. You should be proud.
Also starring Dennis Hopper, the award-winning director of Easy Rider.
Man, look, I gotta get out of here, man.
All right. That's
What?
an-
What award did he win?
I'm not sure about that. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. We're still working a couple of those kinks out of the machine. But thanks for whoever cut that clip, or whoever the original editor. I don't have that info. All right, that was Easy Rider. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's definitely on video.
It's definitely on video. I saw it on video many years ago, actually, when I was visiting family in Dallas, Texas.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys, and see you next week. Or talk to you next week.
Here we go.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. You were listening to On Cinema, the podcast where we focus on films, new and old. We are celebrating the 30th anniversary today of Bad News Bears. And my guest is film historian, buff, friend of mine, Greg Turkington. Greg,
And I want to clarify. Oh, hi, everyone. I want to clarify. This is the 30th anniversary of the original Bad News Bears. There was a remake, and it might be the
well, yeah.
30th month anniversary of that. But that film was not as important as the original, which is
Well, no.
often the case with a lot of.
I didn't even see the remake. I often don't.
You should see it.
Well, I'll stick with the original,
Well, I mean, in some cases, the remakes are better than the originals in a lot of cases.
Well, that's not probably true, but I guess in terms of quality, filmmaking has gotten better in terms of the actual materials they use. Not the acting so much, but
Yeah.
the equipment. Anyways, let's talk about the original Bad News Bears because that's why we're here. Tell me a little bit about this movie. I believe it's Roger. I keep wanting to say Rodney Dangerfield, but it's not. It's Walter Matthau.
Walter Matthau from the old Odd Couple, and a cast of thousands, just kids, just
yeah,
kids,
just regular kids.
regular kids. Some of them, I think is Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster might is. I don't know if is Jodie Foster.
No, it's I'm
the girl?
blanking on her name.
Tatum O'Neal.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tatum O'Neal, who's
Right.
had a great career, and then it was sidetracked from sort of drug addiction.
And married to tennis great John McEnroe. John McEnroe from tennis.
Who's not in tennis anymore. He's in broadcasting now.
He broadcast tennis. Anyways,
But yeah,
that is way off subject.
Yeah, that's a fun thing about this.
But it is not
show.
that off subject because the movie is a sports movie, another baseball movie, better than 8 Men Out. Still not my favorite baseball movie, but probably second or third.
Well, it's about underdogs, and sometimes the underdogs can surprise you and win. And this is a sort of a ragtag
Okay.
baseball team, and they end up winning it all. And it's like the little engine that could, or maybe like this podcast, maybe will soon compete with the big guys, and that's kind of what we're hoping for. So keep listening and tell your friends about this podcast. And who knows, maybe we can expand it to make it an hour.
And speaking of which, we're still looking for sponsors. So if anybody out there has any ideas on even how that works, let me know. But certainly, we could do something for the beginning of the show. We could plug something at the beginning of the show and at the end of the show and even in the middle of the show, just the way a TV show
Probably
works.
not the middle.
Yeah, well, if we had a longer show, we'd have to. But check out Bad News Bears. If you haven't seen it, I don't know where you've been, but just kidding.
I think a lot of people haven't seen it. So
All right. It's on video. And what else do I want to get through?
there's this
There's a bunch of sequels that go to-
Netflix on demand has a lot of stuff. I don't know if they have this, but
All right. You can just search for that. All right. Thanks very much.